24, Wigan Warriors 22 in a game that will have the bookies laughing all the way to the bank. This was a coupon buster, wasn't it? Unbelievable stuff from the Black and Whites, 11th in Super League, going up against the World Club champions and quite simply putting them in their box. This flattered Wigan to score. Don't you dare worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. They were really good value for this win, Hull FC, up until the Davy Litton sending off on 70. They were in the box seat. They had the popcorn. They had the Coca-Cola. They were feet up, enjoying themselves. Oh, yes, they were outstanding. But then that sending to the sin bin of Davy Litton changes the complexion, and Wigan do a fight back. Had it been going another 5 minutes, perhaps Wigan would have won it, but it didn't go another 5 minutes. Hull FC hung on for a deserved win against the World Club champions. It started brilliantly well, didn't it, for Hull FC? You know, one of those spiralling bombs, up it goes. Abbas Miski says, I'll have that one, not a bit of it. Straight into the hands of Jack Walker, who I felt was sensational throughout this game for the Black and Whites. He's been in great form this season before his injury against Catalan, and since he's come back, he is a great player. He's Jack Walker. Fantastic stuff. Yes, there's a lot of talent in Logan Moy, but Jack Walker, for me, has had a real standout season for Hull FC. Took that try really, really well. I want to just talk about, for me, a concern for the Wigan Warriors, and that really is their right edge. And that is the Miski and the Kieran partnership. It's not worked for me this season. It really hasn't. Last year, the King and Miski ones seem to be doing so much better. What's your thought on that? I'll come back to that in a few moments' time. Because, of course, Wigan bounced back, and they bounced back because of some great work again from Zach Eckersley. He, of course, punched through the line on about 14 minutes, got Wigan right up the field of play, and that set the platform for what would eventually be a Liam Marshall try. A couple of mistakes, a mistake or two for the Black and Whites in terms of six agains, etc. at that point. And it was Eckersley who got the ball out to Liam Marshall for his try number 18 of the season for Liam. He's in great form, isn't he? But a fantastic pass from Eckersley. He had a good game, didn't he, for the Wigan Warriors yet again, did young Zach Eckersley. It's now 6 points to 4 in favour still of FC, and you're thinking, what's FC going to do? Well, I'll tell you what Liam Sutcliffe's going to do. He's going to go straight through the turnstile. It was Adam Kieran. Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. What's Kieran doing? And that's what I mean about that right edge of defence, the left edge, of course, as you're attacking it. For me, the Miski-Kieran combination isn't working, and very, very easy score indeed from the scrum for Liam Sutcliffe. He took that fantastically well. In he goes. Thank you very much. And now they're again in the box seat, 12 points to 4 up at this point. Where they finish? Not at all. A fantastic kick from left to right from Jake Truman, and there was Davy Litton. Davy Litton, another guy who hasn't played much rugby league, wasn't fancied by Tony Smith, brought in by Simon Griggs. He, leapt superbly well. I mean, Wardle again, he'd won his time again. That's not Jake Wardle's style or quality, is it? Just pretty much surrendered and allowed him that try. Very disappointing indeed. Then came, of course, the Tyler Dupree yellow card. I think he'll be in trouble. Was it a spare? 100% for me. His disciplinary record of Tyler isn't the greatest. And just before half-time, was Liam Farrell's a try? I thought it was. We had a big discussion on the final whistle with regards to this. 50% saying yes, 50% saying no. Had that been given on the day, could that have changed the entire complexion of this game? It's an interesting question. It would have been at least 18-8, maybe 18-10 going in at half-time. For me personally, Jack Walker fell off the tackle in normal speed. In slowed down speed, you could argue it was tackle completed. Maybe fortune favouring the brave there for FC. And for me, I've got no issue with that. It was a real 50-50 call, and it came up for the Black and Whites. 18-4 in the sheds. You know that Wigan are going to be galvanised in the second half. They've had a flea in the rear from Matty P. And what could they do in the second half? And their bubble was burst pretty quickly by Deneve Balfour, who again has really shone since Tony Smith has left the MKM Stadium. It took some scoring. I mean, Deneve Balfour there going toe-to-toe with Eckersley and Mago and coming out on top. Again, there was nothing going to stop Deneve from getting to the line. Very reminiscent of the Mikey Lewis try we saw at Leeds. It's now 24 points to 4. They're in the box seat. They are playing some sensational rugby league football. Abbas Miski, well, of course, great defence from Jack Walker kept him out. Again, it wasn't just his try. It was his all-round play for me from Jack Walker. That was some tackle on Miski on around about the 54-minute mark, where he basically put Miski into touch. Of course, he lost control of the ball in Abbas Miski. That was a real critical moment in the game. Wigan kept coming, they kept coming, and all the time they were just coming up against some real brave and quality defence. That said, Brad O'Neill, he wasn't going to be denied, was he? That was a fine take from him close to the line. you've got no issues with that. I think the hookers this week have had a really, really good week. And then, Kel, for me, the pivotal moment of the game, 72 minutes, off goes Ferryman with 2 steps. I've not seen steps as glorious and as shiny as those two since me grandma's. I'm telling you, her front step back in the day was a sight to be seen, ladies and gentlemen. But 2 wonderful steps. And Davy Litton, of course, gets a head-eye shot on. And the whole complexion now changes. The 24-10 up, they should see it out. And it doesn't take Wigan any time at all to hit back. A really lovely ball, wasn't it, from Harry Smith over to Liam Marshall to go in for his 19 for the season. And Wigan now are all business. Marshall saying, right, let's get the kick done. Let's get going. Let's go again. He was all business, was Liam Marshall. It's now 24 points to 16. And again, pretty much the next play, off come Wigan again, down the left-hand side, the favoured edge this season. Wardle now trying to make up for that really poor effort for the Litton try, passes it out to Eckersley. Eckersley was not going to be stopped. A brilliant try from Zach Eckersley. And then the game-breaking moment, of course, let's not forget, Jake Truman, brilliant tackle, keeping Wigan out, getting the ball back, and then a big shout out and rap to Lewis Martin. The pressure on him on 79 minutes and 46 seconds to take that ball in. A beautiful kick. Wigan players were all over him, and Lewis Martin come up with a massive play to get Hull FC over the line. I absolutely loved this performance from FC. It was gritty. In the first half, there was bags of quality involved in it. People will say Wigan had an off day. Look, the bottom line was, you look at that Wigan squad, you look at that bench, they had no right to win this game, Hull FC. You know, league positions don't lie. They just wanted this more. The celebrations at every win, whether it was an error from Wigan, whether it was a quality tackle like the Jack Walker one we spoke about, the tries, they celebrated all the wins together. There's a unity now at Hull FC, and whilst for me, there's no chance of them being in the playoffs, they can have a big say playing rugby league like this in who gets into the playoff places and who wins the League Leaders Shield, because at this moment in time, they're as competitive as anybody out there. It's great to see the lower teams still fighting hard in Super League and making our competition so very special. Massive congratulations to everybody at the MKM. This was a sensational performance against a brilliant Wigan team. You fully deserved it. The 3 points go to Jack Walker. They have to. Not only his try early doors, getting them off on a great start, but those try-saving efforts, his runs from deep, everything about Walker in this game showed his class and showed his quality. He was brilliant for the Black and Whites. The 2 points, I mean, there's so many Hull FC players I could give points to this week, but there aren't enough points to go around. But Jake Truman set 3 of them tries up, and it was Jake Truman, of course, who did the critical challenge when Wigan were in the ascendancy and could have gone over for a try on the right-hand side. But Truman, a brilliant tackle on Ferryman, make sure that wasn't going to be the case. So again, try-saving efforts, 3 assists, brilliant performances from Jake Truman. He deserves the 2 points. And the 1 point I'm going to give to Liam Marshall in defeat. I've got to do that. 2 tries from him. I thought he had a great game, 192 metres, 20 carries, 5 tackle busts in the game. Marshall, really good for the Wigan Warriors. For me, the only real good part of the Wigan Warriors team on the day. Lots of questions on that right edge for Wigan, where the Miski and Kieran partnership is. It just doesn't seem to be working at this moment in time. I thought Eckersley played well as well. The King, Runny Yawa, a shout out for him. You know, he did over 100 metres in this and didn't make an error in a game. That's a collector's item. Well done to the King. Herman Sasa, another great performance from him, 115 metres from 15 carries. I mean, look, I could go through the entire Hull FC team. I don't think there was a bad player on the side. I thought every single one of them stood up and really deserved to win this game. It's wonderful for the competition when a team that sits in 11 can beat the World Club Championships. It's thrown the League Leaders Shield wide open. It's given the MKM fans hope and belief for the rest of this season that, hey, they might just pick up the odd scalp here and there, and certainly a far more entertaining brand of rugby that they're starting to play at this moment in time. Do you think I enjoyed this one? I think I did as well. Hull FC 24, Wigan Warriors 22. It's game on for the League Leaders Shield. We'll be back later in the day for more in the Shed.